Okay, guys, I'm going to discuss some of the problems from our Chapter 8 test preview. Okay, again, I'm not doing them all. It's up to you. Okay, I'm just going to advise you as to proceed with some. Okay, so Chapter 8 was talking about similarity, but with the similarity, we also began that by looking at ratios and proportions, and then we worked in some algebra stuff. So all that stuff's represented here. Okay, all right. Uh, Here, number 3. You can't compare miles to feet. You got to convert miles to feet. 5,280 feet to a mile. So you have to multiply that by 1.5, then take the ratio to 3,000. Okay, you need to know this. 5,280 feet to a mile. 10 cubic feet to 1 cubic yard. Okay, a cubic yard is 3 by 3 by 3 feet, which is 27 cubic feet. So the ratio is 10 to 27. Okay, our proportions here solved by cross multiplying. 2 times y plus 3 equals 5y. Carry out. This shouldn't be a big problem. Okay, some simple equations here. All right, this equation, I like to get rid of the fractions the very first thing. So I multiply by the common denominator. Common denominator is 6. All terms are multiplied by 6. 6 multiplies this first term. The 3 cancels out with the 6. It gives us 2. Multiplying the 8 gives us 16. Also, that 6 has got to multiply the 8, giving you 48u. Okay, the 6 over here multiplies the 1/2, gives you 3, which is distributed over the 4 minus u, and the 6 times 11 is 66. Carry out the distribution, solve the equation. That should be up to you to finish that off. Okay, factoring. All right, we know that this is a trinomial coming back into 2 binomials. Okay, we need to find the factors of 24, which when multiplied give us 24, and which when added gives us 25. You want to check to see that this is correct by using the FOIL method. First times the first, outside 2, inside 2, and the last with the last. Sorry about that. Okay, same thing over here. Number 4, although what we have is, okay, we have a coefficient in front of x squared, which means we need to break this down and not just x plus something and x plus something, but the multiples, the factors of 5, which are 5 and 1, since it's a prime number. And so and since the last with the last needs to multiply with a negative, we need to have our groupings have positive and negative. Okay, so this is what we come up with. Check it by FOIL method to see if it's correct. Okay. All right, so here we have some other proportions to set up. We have 1,504 people surveyed. Okay. We have a ratio of supporters to opponents being 7 to 9. We don't know how many supporters or how many opponents there are. All we know that there's 1,504 total people who were surveyed. So if we designate the number of supporters as X, the number of opponents would be the total minus that. So we cross multiply and we solve that, as is the case there. Okay. Number 2 is very similar in its approach. Okay. So you should hopefully be able to see how we got that as well. Okay. Moving down here through the rest of them. Okay. All right triangles are similar, not at all. Okay, you have 30, 60, 90, you have 45, 45, 90. Okay, you have 3, 4, 5, you have 5, 12, 13. So there's no reason why all right triangles are going to be similar. All regular hexagons are similar, all squares are similar, all equilateral triangles are similar, all rectangles need not be similar, and all rhombuses need not be similar. In fact, some rhombuses are squares and some are not, so they're not always going to be similar. Okay. Here we have similar polygons. Therefore, we can set up the ratios. We have corresponding sides. 24 is to 14, as that's large as the small, as 22 is to x cross multiply. Here, the we have information regarding two sides which are corresponding. 8 is to 6. Of course, I would reduce that to 4 to 3. And 4 to 3 is equal to 10 over z. 4 to 3 is equal to x over 12. 4 to 3 is equal to 6 over y. Solve for the unknown values. Okay? Here we have our side splitter theorem saying that the top to the bottom ratio is consistent. 12 is to 5 is 15 is to x cross multiply. Here we have similar triangles, so on the basis of similar triangles, we know that the corresponding angles are congruent, so we can solve for those pretty easily. Okay. We have a 6-foot tall man casting a 3.5 foot shadow. We have a building of unknown height casting a 100-foot shadow. So by indirect measurement using similar triangles, we have set up the ratio 6. The height to the shadow length of the man is equal to the height of the building to its shadow length. 6 is the 3.5 is x is 100. Cross multiply, solve for x. Okay. Here's another indirect measurement using similar triangles. Okay. The height of the man to his distance from the mirror is proportionate to the height of the flagpole to its distance. So 1.75 is the x as x. 1.75 is the 4 as x is the 10. Cross multiply. Okay. This section, I think there's some information missing, so we're going to say skip it except for these. So with this one, what we can say is, okay, we know we're getting two similar triangles, the top and then the all-inclusive. You might want to just separate these out, look at the two triangles. Top would be having sides x and 12, but x is not to 7.5. X is to x plus 7.5, as 12 is to 18. Of course, 12 over 18 should simplify to 2/3, and that would make your life a little easier here. These similar triangles are in a similarity ratio of 14:21, which of course is 2 to 3. It's the same as the ratios of the perimeter. The ratio of their areas is that squared, which of course is 4 to 9. Okay. Working backwards, if the polygons here are similar, then their areas are in the square of the ratio of the sides. Okay. The sides, large to small, are 16 to 12. Of course, that reduces to 4 to 3. So their areas are a 4 to 3 squared ratio, 16 to 9, which is equal to 105 over the unknown. Cross multiplying, find it. Okay. Same thing here with these. Okay. Here's our side splitter. We get the top to bottom ratio, top to bottom. Of course, I would simplify this. This is the corollary of the side splitter. Of course, that gives us x to this length, of course, would be 24 minus x is equal to 8 to 12, which of course is 2 to 3. Here's our triangle angle bisector. So we get the sides of the hypotenuse are in the same ratio as the sides of the hypotenuse. 3 is the x as the remaining two sides of the triangle. 5 is the 8. Cross multiply and set it up. Okay, side splitter all over again. A little algebra going on. Geometric mean with the altitude being the geometric mean to the two pieces of the hypotenuse. Don't forget geometric mean. Over here, I identify that we got the similar triangles. You should watch to see how we got the similar triangles. Okay. As I said, ABC is similar to BDC. Pay attention to the ordering of that. That makes all the difference in the world. Allows us to set up a ratio, plug in the sides as given, and solve for the unknown. Okay? So that is your review, and you need to work those problems out for completion in preparation for our upcoming test.